Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Monday, December 16th. I'm sitting in a Panera's right now working remotely. They happen to have nice breakfast sandwiches and good pastries, so that's why I chose Panera. And I like their hazelnut coffee. But this is the third video in the series showing you what I did to polish the diesel fuel on my boat chopsticks. I watched several videos on YouTube before I attempted it. And what I noticed some people doing is that they may have had a remote diesel fuel polishing system set up like you saw that I do in the previous video, and you'll see in this video too. And they would put the tube that was extracting diesel fuel into the tank, and then put the other tube that was expelling the filtered diesel fuel or the polished diesel fuel back into the tank. And while that may have worked for them, what I chose to do was to just extract all the diesel fuel from the tank. Chopsticks was manufactured in 1982, so she's 18, about 42 years old. That tank's 42 years old. I figured there's probably 42 years of who knows what in that tank. So that's why I decided to extract all the diesel fuel from the tank and then polish it and then put it back in. One of the things that also helped me to realize was that she has a 70-gallon tank. You know, I checked sailboatdata.com, which is a great source of information. And for the island traders, they do not show the tank capacity. So that was another thing I wanted to figure out, was what is the capacity of the diesel tank on chopsticks. I hope you enjoy the video. Please feel free to leave a comment, like. Also, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I do want to build the channel, and I appreciate each and every one of you who takes a moment to hit that subscribe button. So I hope you have a good day and hope you enjoy the video. Thanks. Bye. And actually, while I'm at it, I'm going to replace this gasket. It feels pretty soft. Looks like it's seen better days. I've got another one right here. Hopefully that will do the trick. Put this washer back on. Should seal it up nicely. Now in the meantime, so I get a nice pattern going, when I snug these bolts down, even going forward. Maybe I'll go one. Okay, so that'll make it easier for me. And if anybody thinks that might have been a good idea, let me know. Don't want any diesel fuel leaking out of there. So the plan is to drain the diesel tank, feel around the tank, get out as much sediment as I can, clean it up as best I can, and then I'm going to take it home and polish it, and then when I come back, I can just pour it back in. And same as before, I took all the nuts off, I put them in this bag, have all the washers right here. I'm going to put them in the bag so I don't have to worry about anything rolling into some crack or crevice and then having to go to the hardware store and get some new stuff. This way there's no worries. I can put that right up here for now. I went to Menards and I got this liquid transfer shaker siphon hose. It says it transfers up to 3.5 gallons per minute, so that seems like pretty good. So I'm going to see how it works while I drain the diesel tank. I did watch a short YouTube video. All I should have to do is put this in the diesel fuel, shake it up and down a couple times till the fuel starts feeding, then it should continue to feed on its own until I pull it up and it stops once the bucket is getting close to being full. Let's give it a shot. This thing works terrific. And look at all that stuff. It just keeps coming, keeps feeding through. So there's a lot of sediment in there. A lot of debris or sediment or whatever that is, but not good. I am on chopsticks currently, and I've got my diesel fuel polishing system set up to hopefully pull the rest of the diesel out of the tank. Let's see how this works. It's working. Okay. So also in order to maybe help the siphon action from the primer bulb, I've elevated the container of diesel fuel, and I'm kind of interested in seeing how this works. So I've got the primer bulb hose and the diesel. It's a one-way valve, so I see it. It's pumping it in. Turn on this. I can hear this pump working. Let's see what the flow looks like. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good flow. Okay. Okay. 2 down. And I'm working on number 3. I have noticed a little bit of sediment. I don't know if you can see it. Collecting in the bottom of the bowl. And the fuel does look a little cloudy right now. But, yeah. So it's doing its job. Okay, so this is interesting. I happened to just tip this a little bit, and there was a bunch of sludge in the bottom of it, which kind of clogged this, and it caused this bulb just to collapse up on itself. And if I look at the sediment bowl, look at that. There is a ton of sediment. Water and sediment, diesel bug. Yeah, and look how cloudy that is, so I'm going to drain that off. Okay, so here is some of the sludge that was in the bottom of this bucket that helped clog the maybe the filter or just the bulb that caused the bulb. It restricted the flow, so there's definitely this is one of the many reasons I am so happy that I decided to do this. Okay, so I wiped out that bucket, and so a lot of the stuff is rust. I think I'm going to pull this top off and see what the filter looks like. You got to kind of reach down in here and get one of these little okay. I probably don't have to change it because as long as I've got flow going through it. Okay, I'm just switching out a bucket. And I feed it up underneath the handle mostly so I can use the handle to kind of keep it in place. Turn this on. As you can see, it's feeding in at a pretty good clip right now, so. And you can see this, but this is some of the sediment that's at the bottom of this fuel water separator. And this cloudy mess, and you can see the stuff in the bottom there, but there's rust and a bunch of goop in there, so yeah. It was a good idea that I did this. And this is only 5 gallons in. I've got about 7 more, well, I'm sorry. This is only 25 gallons in, so I've got about 35 more gallons to go. Okay, so I'm about 45 gallons in, and I think it's time for me to drain this. It's definitely accumulated a bit of water and sediment, and I'm sure this isn't even the worst of it. The worst of it's still in the bottom of the tank, and I have yet to filter that. So, okay, so if you can see, I'll try and get a good. Here's what the tank looks like after I use my shot back, rather. Okay, I took this rag and I just kind of reached down and wiped out the tank as best I could. You can see the, some of the sediment that I got off. I don't really think there's much else I can do as far as getting the shop back in there and trying to clean it out more. I think I've got pretty much. Okay, so here's the bottom of my shop vac, and this is rust and looks like some sludge, and pull all that out of my tank. Well, I think it's time to start putting the diesel back in, and as I put each 5-gallon container in, I'm going to add biocide with it. So, okay, this is the stuff I'm using. ValveTech BioGuard Plus 6 prevents bacterial growth, stabilizes fuel and prevents sludge, prevents rust and corrosion, lubricates pumps and injectors, cleans injector deposits, disperses water, and increases cetane number. And in case you're not sure what that is, for diesel fuel, that's similar to the octane that you'd have in gasoline. So, okay, so if I figured out the ratio right, it says I want to put about a 1/2 ounce of BioGuard in for 5 gallons of diesel. So, okay. When I add this, as you could probably imagine, all I'm really doing is just pouring it in my diesel container. And, I shake it up a little bit to hopefully mix it. And then I'm going to put it in the tank. All right. Trying to start putting the diesel fuel back in the tank. 5 gallons at a time. I decided it would be easier to just pour the diesel from the jerry can back into the 5-gallon bucket and use my diesel polishing system to just filter it again and put it back in the tank. Okay, well, it's working. It just, I guess, took a little while for the pump to prime. And that's it for this one. After I finished putting all the diesel back in the tank, the motor fired up easily. At the end of the day, I feel this was an endeavor well worth the time and the small investment I made. And this is a pick of the hard dinghy that I picked up over the summer for about $40. It can row, it can accommodate a small outboard motor, and you can sail it as well. It's made by the Lincoln Fiberglass Company. It's called the Jolly Roger model. I'm trying to find out more information about it, but not having much